right. So we got a doozy for you today. We went after the American banks last week. This week, we're coming for the Canadian banks. This is entitled The Canadian Mortgage Crisis. Now, I know people, I'm not going to do the I told you so, but for those of you who have been watching us for a while, you'd know back in 20 and 21, we held seminars for free for people to come out to understand where the mortgage rates were going to be coming out of the pandemic and the years following. We told everybody that the mortgage rates would be anywhere between 4 3/4 and 5 1/4 by the end of 2022. It's not because we're prophets. It's just because we understand the markets. And those who didn't want to listen, cool. But we actually had a few people that listened and locked in their rates below 2.5%. Well, guess what? Now they're floating around 6 here in Canada. So for all those people that are saving $16,000 a year in added interest on their average $400,000 house in our city, congratulations. Thank you for listening. For the rest of you, you might want to listen now because this is important. Understand that each Canadian bank, and there's 5 major ones, are reporting that over 20% of their mortgages are experiencing balance increases. That's right, balance increases. Every month they're making payments, but their balances are still going up, which means it never gets paid off. This is a result of what's called negative amortization. Now, producer Mac's going to put a little description down here. I'm just going to give you a brief description. You can read what's down here so you understand. An amortization is when you're paying off a debt, and each time you make a payment, yes, there's interest involved, but the principal goes down, and that's how you pay it off over time. Negative amortization is what's happening right now. You're still making your payments every month. You're making bigger payments than you used to, but you're not actually knocking the principal down. So it gets added on to the end. You're making your payments, but you're not paying off your mortgage. This leads to huge amounts owed upon refinancing, which back in 2007, if you remember the terminology back then, was called a balloon payment, which is what led to the crash of 2008 and 2009. So why were rates continually lowered? Why would the Bank of Canada encourage people to take on more debt during the pandemic by lowering the rates to ridiculously low, like 1.51? Like, it didn't make any sense. They knew that the rates were going to triple and that people couldn't afford to do this. So why was it even done? That's just something that you're going to need to think about. Let's be completely honest. If you're going to set somebody up for failure, wouldn't it be a way to secure them with those tempting loans? When a credit department or bank does something like that, it's called predatory lending. The Bank of Canada lowered rates to encourage people to go get mortgages. They knew that this was going to happen. This is not genie in a bottle type stuff. Rates should never go that low. So why did they go low, and why did they actively promote people to take on more debt? That's just something for you to keep in your head. I'm not going to speculate on why they did that, but I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together. Unfortunately, very few people can afford their mortgages right now. And on a related but even more ugly note, we're hearing a lot more stories out there right now that mortgages are being refinanced, of new to the country residents, so immigrants who've come over with their families in the last half decade or so, being tricked into taking on mortgages by shady subprime brokers, promising them, their first home, the North American dream. And they were just told, yeah, sign on the line. There'll never be a problem. Interest rates will never go up. We're hearing more and more of that. And you know what that is? It's literally emulating this clip taken from the 2015 movie, The Big Short. Funny how this is basically what's happened here in Canada.
So is Morgan Stanley recruiting us? Is that?
Oh, no. No, the bank owns our hedge fund, but we're not really a part of it. We invest in financial service companies, and we're trying to understand the residential mortgage business.
How many loans do you write each month?
About 60.
Yeah. What was it 4 years ago?
10, maybe 15.
Yeah, I was a bartender. Now I own a boat.
You own a boat. So how many of these are adjustable rate mortgages?
Well, most.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say about 90%. The bonuses on those skyrocketed a few years ago. Adjustables are bread and honey.
So do applicants ever get rejected?
Seriously? Look, if they get rejected, I suck at my job.
Even if they have no money?
Well, my firm offers ninja loans. No income, no job. I just leave the income section blank if I want. Corporate doesn't care. These people just want homes, and they go with the flow.
Good for you.
Your companies don't verify.
If I write a loan on Friday afternoon, big bank is going to buy it by Monday lunch.
Yeah, same here.
Could you hold on a second?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why are they confessing?
They're not confessing.
They're bragging.
Do people have any idea what they are buying?
I focus on the immigrants, Once they find out they're getting a home, they sign where you tell them to sign. Don't ask questions. Don't understand the rates.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
And you target immigrants too.
Their credit actually isn't bad enough for him.
Look, I'm a yield guy. Okay. I make $2,000 on a fixed rate prime loan, right? But I can make $10,000 on a subprime adjustable. Trust me, I'm not driving a 7 Series without strippers. No one on the pole has good credit, and they're all cash rich.
I think I read Warren Buffett say something like that. No,
What?
not right.
Who's Warren
Yeah.
Buffett?
Okay, so strippers like exotic dancers.
Yeah. Nude, topless.
Strippers.
Yeah.
Can you introduce us?
Now, isn't that a gorgeous scenario? Seriously. As people say that's a dramatic, theatrical version. I don't think people understood the jokes that were made when the money was flying back in 06 and 07, giving these subprime mortgages and stuff like this. I actually heard realtors, even here in Canada, talking like that. It's not funny, okay? Like, so these families new to Canada, most of them working minimum wage jobs, multiple minimum wage jobs. Now, when they have to refinance their houses, a lot of them can't. But for those that are going to try, they're going to have to take on a third or a fourth job. Everybody in their family is going to have to go get a job because a lot of them don't have the education yet. And this is what's like, they're going to be decimated. They're either going to have to work all these extra hours or default on their loan payments. That is ugly. But that is the reality that's happening here in Canada. Now, you take all this mortgage trouble and combine it with the rise in layoffs and unemployment, which will cause substantially more defaults over the next 2 years, and you begin to understand how gloomy the short-term forecast will be. But on the other hand, those out there who saved their pennies, kept their budgets tight, didn't take on excessive high debt, those people who've just been lying in wait, their pennies got stockpiled for the next wealth-building opportunity in the world, those people are going to come out of this economic financial crisis in 2 to 3 years with big, fat, juicy smiles on their face. But hey, that's for the next episode. If you find this kind of content interesting, and I know some of you are going to get triggered, I'll be completely honest. I get it. This is a very touchy topic. This is going to hurt a lot of people. It's going to divide people, especially in the different classes. Everyone's going to start blaming everybody else or blaming the government. What we need to know is if we're building the right type of content for you. If you want to keep hearing more realities, because we're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're not going to pretend this isn't happening just because people relate to it and then get mad. This is truth. It's not subjective right and wrong or moral or ethics. This is just truths of what is happening. So if you like this content, please let us know. Otherwise, there's no reason for us to continue making it. But if you do find it useful, we will absolutely dig deeper, hit the topics that you want us to discuss. Please put it down in the comments. If there's something else you want us to do our research on, or maybe ask questions to someone else, bring in another expert in a different field to answer your questions, we are willing to do that. But you have to let us know. We can't guess what's on your mind. The first step in letting us know that you like this kind of content, Like, comment, subscribe. You've heard everybody else say it. We're saying it too. It tells us you like what we're doing. All right? For today, I'm out. So All I Ever Wanted podcast, we're coming back at you.